Hi, I'm Dominique Blocker with County Television. Welcome to Department Spotlight, where we take you inside the many departments that help make our county the place it is. In today's episode, we're going to feature the Public Works Department. And so, to do that, I have with me Scott McGulpin, the Director of the Public Works Department. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So, first off, just give us an idea. When we say the Public Works Department, what are we talking about?
Well, Public Works provides the infrastructure and services to the community that all Public Works departments provide across this country.
And so when we talk about that to the average person, someone like me, what does that mean in my life?
Sure. Let's take a typical resident in the county of Santa Barbara. They come out of their house in the morning to head to work or take care of their business, and they can see that their trash can, their recycling can, and their green waste can has been emptied. That's Public Works at work. They get in their car, ride a bike, get on a bus to commute to wherever they need to go. If they have a safe trip, uncongested trip, they don't hit potholes, they're riding on a properly maintained road, that's Public Works at work. When it's raining and the water's flowing in the creeks and it goes underneath the roadway and it doesn't impair their trip, that's Public Works at work. If they're going to buy real estate or sell real estate, that's our surveyor's office at work within Public Works to make sure that the piece of property that they purchase or sell is legally described.
So it really sounds like every single day we're constantly affected by the work that your department is doing.
It's going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, absolutely.
So with so much going on, why don't we, I know you have different divisions, so let's focus on one division at a time. Do you want to start with resource recovery and waste management?
Certainly. Resource recovery and waste management is responsible for addressing the community's waste and innovative recycling programs.
So, I mean, and I think we live in Santa Barbara County. There's a lot of recycling that goes on here.
There's a tremendous amount of recycling, and really this community is a leader in recycling its waste. In fact, over 70% of the waste generated in Santa Barbara County is recycled.
Now, that seems like a very impressive number, but it does lead me to ask, there's another 30% out there, and that's going to go to our landfill.
Correct. That's where it currently goes today. However, Resource Recovery and Waste Management has been working on a very innovative and really state-of-the-art program called conversion technology. And that would allow us to deal with that balance of waste that's currently going to Tehigas every day to be buried.
Tehigas landfill is the regional sanitation landfill where the more we learn about trash and burying trash, the more we realize its environmental impact. One of the most important impacts, or one of the worst impacts, is that when trash breaks down, it produces a lot of methane, which is a greenhouse gas impact. Conversion technology is just one of the options that we've been looking at as a replacement for burying waste. Basically, what conversion technology does is it takes the waste and decomposes it in ideal conditions. There's a lot of energy in trash. There's energy in the plastics, which when exposed to heat can produce a gas similar to methane. It would be a synthetic gas that then could be used for energy. You can even, in some conversion technologies, turn that plastic back into oil, which then could be used for, gasoline or other petrochemicals to be reused. In the case of conversion technology, the amount of stuff that you end up with left over that might need to be buried is considerably smaller. The other positives we have are a significant generation of green energy and also a possible significant capital investment. What the county's been looking at is for private investors to build a facility like this, which could be tens of millions of dollars in construction and also millions of dollars annually in operations that would benefit the community and private investment. It's required for all landfills to destroy their methane. Most landfills flare it, which means they just burn it. We actually generate electricity with it. In the case of conversion technology, the methane would be produced in a closed environment, so we would capture between 99 and 100% of that methane, as opposed to having 5 to 25% of it escape through the current process that we have now. What conversion technology is really looking for is the best way to mitigate the environmental impact of our community's waste. And this is really a decision that needs to be made by the community. And we all need to be in this together to make sure that we want to go forward with a project like this to find the best way to minimize our impact, and waste is a big one.
You know, the conversion technology process has been a very inclusive process. We've spoken to a number of community groups trying to get input from those different groups, so we're doing exactly what the community would like us to do.
That's perfect. So I really learned a lot just watching that. You know,
Right.
It's helpful.
Right.
But not all of resource recovery and waste management programs are quite that technical.
True.
Right?
True, absolutely. A creative idea that came up a few years ago that would be more natural was utilizing falcons at our landfill to help us deal with the tremendous amount of seagulls that were coming out to the landfill.
I'm a master falconer. I am licensed by the state and the federal government, the Fish and Wildlife Service, to maintain and fly falcons. I'm here at the Tahigas landfill flying falcons to keep the seagulls off the trash. Before I came here, every day there was over 2,000 seagulls. And the county and the city of Santa Barbara were trying to research a way of keeping the seagulls off the trash. Mr. Tottram, who's the manager here, was going through the internet and he saw that the Air Force used falcons on the runways, the US Air Force, throughout the United States and Europe to keep the birds off the runway so the airplanes can take off. Now I'll pop the hood off, you can take a quick look at her. The hood, it does not touch the eyes, it's softly on her head to keep her calm and quiet before I release her. Once I release her, I'll move away over here, I'll release her, and then I'll fly her and she will stoop to the lure. Her breed is Seika falcon. Her natural habitat was Saudi Arabia. And about 25 years ago, Seika falcons were imported here to breeders who bred them to work in conditions like this, the desert. Seika falcons do really good in the desert and the heat. So that's why we use them here at the landfill or at the airfields. So the whole idea here, not just here, but as a falconer, is not actually catching the pheasants when we go out, is to see this bird at 1,000 feet. When I do have seagulls, the seagulls actually a very intelligent bird. They see the truck coming and leave. Tahigas was the first to implement a falconry program in the United States. That's on a landfill, but it's now predominant on most landfills in California. The three landfills close to me, Santa Maria, Lompoc, and Vandenberg, all have a falconer at their landfill. We're only down to 20 seagulls a day. I listen to the radio, dispatch calls me, I come out, fly the falcon, the seagulls leave.
So which division should we discuss next?
Let's talk about the County Surveyor's Office.
So what exactly do they do?
It's a very important function. All of the 58 counties in the state of California include a county surveyor. And it's important to a resident because if you're going to buy a piece of property, sell a piece of property, or subdivide a piece of property, then the county surveyor's office is responsible for ensuring that there is a legal description of that particular parcel you're considering making a transaction on.
Is one of the things that they do preserving monuments? Is that correct?
Absolutely. And to identify a piece of property on the earth, monuments are extremely important to do that.
We keep track, we have records that we keep that are land related, maps, documents, primarily maps. The public can come into our office or they can visit our website through our Department of Public Works website. And the main things that you can get there are, subdivision maps, records of surveys, corner records, other documents that are filed in our office. The County Surveyor's Office website actually gets more hits than any other website in the county on a regular basis. Our role has changed significantly over the past 150 to 200 years. We've been in business since 1852, and primarily what the surveyor did first when they were here was they mapped the land for sale by the public. That particular marker was set to denote the property boundary in front of the courthouse steps and the right-of-way for Anacapa Street. This particular one was probably a special landmark set for the courthouse, but the county does do and has done a lot of surveying where property corners have been set in a lot of locations. There are hundreds of thousands of them throughout the county. Surveying is more field work. There's a lot of artistic things that you used in making maps. It's very interesting, the history, finding the history of properties and digging back through records to see who owned it and how it was created. And those are the kind of things that I really enjoy.
Water Resources is made up of flood control, the water agency, and Project Clean Water. And these are the folks that are out there working in the summer months before the rains come to ensure that when the winter season arrives, that we stay dry.
And an interesting thing that I learned from working on this piece is that Water Resources, an important aspect of this division, actually deals with fires, wildfires.
Yes. I mean, as the community knows, we've had a number of wildfires within our county over the last few years. And the Water Resources Division now has become a leader in watershed recovery because after we have a wildfire in the watershed, it takes a tremendous toll on the watershed. And they've come up with some really innovative techniques to deal with the effects of a wildfire and to minimize the flooding impacts downstream.
In May of 2009, we had the Hasacita fire, and it burned 8,700 acres in the hills behind Santa Barbara. So as a result of that, the Flood Control District was really concerned about increased flood flows, increased debris flows after the fire during that first rainy season. So as a result of that, we did lots of different things for emergency response, but one of the things that we did was hydromulch application in the hills behind Santa Barbara. We hydromulched about 1,000 acres. Now what hydromulch is it's a mixture of wood fiber, paper, a tackifier, which is basically a glue, and water, and it's mixed up and it's applied via airplane. A lot of people think that it has seed in it. It does not have any seed in it. One of the questions that come up is it worth it? Should we be doing it? It's expensive. So the Flood Control District came up with a study plot method to study the hydromulch. And the two things that we were basically interested in were, was it effective in controlling erosion? And did the hydromulch being on the ground and on some of the plants keep the native plants from growing back? So we set up 11 different plots. Preliminary results showed that the hydromulch plots lost between 50 and 100% less soil than the control plots. In terms of vegetation, we found that the hydromulch did not negatively affect the regrowth of vegetation post-fire. The county wanted to put their time and effort into this because we want to be able to provide post-fire flood protection, but we want to be able to do it cost-effectively. And we want the treatments that we propose to be effective in and of themselves. So because a lot of people wonder, is it worth it? Is it cost effective? And that's why we wanted to try and answer some of those questions, because the likelihood of a fire in the future. There's eventually going to be another fire, unfortunately. So we want to be able to answer some of those questions to people.
Another project that's under the Water Resources Division deals more with the day-to-day keeping our creeks clean, making sure our water is safe. Tell me about them.
That's our Project Clean Water group, and they work within Water Resources, and they walk the creeks and they look at different types of discharges that comes off private and commercial properties to ensure that those discharges are clean.
And living in Santa Barbara County, I mean, clean creeks, a clean ocean, really important for us.
Very important to this community, very important to us in Public Works.
Project Clean Water started about 12 years ago, mostly in response to frequent beach closures. There was a lot of interest in doing whatever we could do as a county to keep the creeks and the ocean clean. We have laws in place that make it illegal to pollute, health and safety code, solid waste code, penal code, and now there's a discharge ordinance we passed a couple years ago that makes it real clear that no pollution can be discharged into the storm drain system. As you can imagine, pollution comes from so many different places, mostly related to people. So where our focus is in the urban areas, we have to address it at many levels, including education and outreach, and involving the community so that they participate and learn more about where pollution comes from and what they can do to prevent it. Each year we have a Coastal Cleanup Day and Creek Week in the fall. And during, well, Coastal Cleanup Day, obviously, the beaches are, have volunteers that come out and pick up trash, and a lot of trash is picked up on county beaches then. We also take the time to walk the creeks in the urban areas, and we do that twice a year. And we're looking for changes over time and also for hot spots or areas where people may be dumping, or there might be a pipe discharging something, or we're looking for signs that pollution might have occurred there, like discoloration. So we'll use that as a way to investigate and step out of the creek and go back up and find out what's happening right adjacent to the creek. We've got programs for kids that I think are wonderful. Every year we're building this community from young people, and young people really care a lot. You know, you can teach them about recycling, you can teach them about water conservation, and you can teach them about water pollution, and they get it, and they take that message home to their families. And I know that it's also really meaningful to a lot of the other people that call in on our hotline or attend our stakeholder meetings. There's a great passion for the ocean, and it's an easy resource to recognize and really love and cherish. We have a Project Clean Water hotline, 1-877-OUR-OCEAN, or they can just call straight into the Water Resources Division, which a lot of people have it right on their cell phone, so they can just get right to us. When I get a complaint call in, and someone says, I just saw a carpet cleaner and they were dumping their wastewater out onto the street. Is that okay? That didn't look right. And I feel really glad that that person was aware enough to call in, and they're always very happy because someone cares, the county. And we can follow up by contacting that business and making sure that they don't repeat that practice again, because they all recognize that that kind of a discharge is prohibited.
I was actually lucky enough to visit another project that is being done by the Water Resources Division up in Santa Maria, and that's the Santa Maria Levee.
Yes.
So that's really important for our community.
Extremely important for our community, extremely important for the city of Santa Maria. We've had tremendous partners on that. It's been the County of Santa Barbara, City of Santa Maria, the Army Corps, and absolutely Congresswoman Capps has been instrumental in bringing the funding to our county to make that project a reality.
We went along for a driving tour and got an update on the progress, so we'll take a look.
Great.
For decades, the levee has been a huge concern to the local sponsor, the County Flood Control District. There's a lot of urbanization that has now built up over the years behind the levee. So we have worked with the Corps for years, and we're all just pleased that the federal funding has come through for the Corps to not only design it, but to construct repairs to the levee over about a 6-mile stretch that will, in essence, protect the urbanization that we all see behind the levee. There's over 17,000 properties, a population of about 60,000 people that are protected in that immediate area. So this is a huge project.
And this is where they started the project. Behind that finished product is a riprap slope to keep the water from reaching the levee. So what they did here is they constructed a 10-foot wide soil cement installation where it just beefs up the levee, makes it stronger. This is the control room, right, that operates the batch plant. And what the batch plant is, it produces the soil cement, and the soil cement consists of water, cement, which is mixed with fly ash, and aggregate. And the aggregate is the soil that's been excavated from the levee, as you saw. And then the final product is what you see that comes out right there. Okay. And it goes up to that conveyor and then into that hopper there. And the trucks drive down and then load up. It dumps it basically in the trucks, and then they drive out there and just dump it out. It's a pretty impressive operation.
This project has about the most public support of any project that you'll see, because there's no question that it benefits the entire community. There's no adverse consequences to this project. It's all good. Everybody that is aware of the situation understands that this is protecting the levee that in turn protects them. Now, having said that, there's a lot of people that go about their daily business without even realizing that there's even a levee out there. Whether they know it or not, though, this work will benefit them every bit as much as it benefits everybody else out there. So between the citizens of the city of Santa Maria, the unincorporated areas in the immediate vicinity, it's a tremendous project. It's very fulfilling that after years of advocating for the work, it has come to be. After a lot of hard work behind the scenes, it's very fulfilling to see it done.
The Transportation Division is responsible for the operations and maintenance of all county roads in unincorporated Santa Barbara County. So it's over 1,600 lane miles of roadway.
That's really a lot of area, a lot of roads to maintain.
Absolutely, absolutely, and the Transportation Division gets very creative and are always out there working with industry and other local agencies to find innovative technologies that can be applied to our roadways in a cost-effective manner, like our micro seal and our scrub seal program.
The average life of a new pavement is approximately 20 years, 20 to 25 years, and it needs treatment at different periods of time along its life cycle. The original project was $2.4 million. It was countywide. The funding was about 70% Proposition 42 funding. 20% was also state transportation funding, and then 10% is actually Measure D sales tax. And the voters also approved a Measure A sales tax, which will augment the Measure D sales tax. There's several programs that we utilize. There's a fog seal, there's a slurry seal, there's a chip seal, and this is the one we're talking about today is a scrub micro. And also we have overlays. The scrub micro has been very effective for us, cost effective, and for the extended life of the pavement. So it's a two-step process. The first step is the scrub portion where we use rejuvenating oil. It actually seals the cracks, and we put chips on top of that. The second part is the micro portion. It's a micro slurry where it's a little thicker than normal. It has chemicals and polymers that allow it to go down thicker and become a wearing surface. It gives us about 5 to 10 years life on the pavement. For this particular project at $2.4 million, we treated 43 lane miles, and that's about what we've been putting out each year. Yes, we will be putting additional scrub seals on the ground, probably shooting for next spring of next year.
That really is, that's a really creative way to deal with. It's gotta be a huge challenge keeping so many roads maintained.
It is, and you know the county has over a $200 million unfunded need, so this program is allowing us to chip away at that backlog.
And what about, I mean, like you said, the need is there.
Sure.
Not unlimited funding, so what can residents do? Or
Right.
what are you guys doing to kind of make that funding challenge work?
Yeah, a couple things, you know, Santa Barbara County is a lot like other local agencies up and down the state and across the country. We have very limited funding. And we really can't do anything nowadays without partnerships. So we developed a roadway enhancement partnership program that allows residents to help us. Maybe pick up trash along a roadway, they can adopt the road. It's very similar to what Caltrans does. They can landscape, they can do a number of things working with our staff.
The Adopt a Road program was developed in 2005, and there was a request from the Board of Supervisors to provide some way for the public to provide enhancements to the right-of-way. And we developed a program called the Road Enhancement Partnership Program that provides a means to allow people to come onto the right-of-way and provide either materials, time, or funding to produce some kind of enhancement to the right-of-way that will provide a cleaner environment. When we adopt a road, or when the public comes to us and chooses to adopt a piece of the road, we let them come into the right-of-way and they decide what they're going to do. They can either provide for trash pickup, they can plant trees. We've had people that provide funding for paving projects, and all those things are accepted as part of the program, and we provide them with some training, some safety equipment that keep them safe while they're working in the right-of-way, And we also provide them with a sign for recognition for what they're doing. In many cases, such as trash pickup, we look at the number of bags they pick up. They come onto the right-of-way, they place the bags at a location within the right-of-way, and we come and pick them up, so we can count those very easily and kind of keep track of how much they're providing in terms of numbers of bags that they leave. And we gather about 300 a year is a standard for what we've been doing in the last 5 years. Yeah, 300 is kind of our average. It's not what an individual or a group does. That's county-wide, and for the groups that we have doing trash pickup. Well, the goals for the future tend to be based on what the public wants to see, and our program is so diverse in its ability to accept things into the program for enhancing the right-of-ways that whatever they want to look at, we'll review each one of those and decide if it's applicable or not.
So after going through all of these different divisions, all the projects that you guys are working on, it's really clear that the Public Works Department does play a role every day in our lives.
Public Works role is really one that we are always there, 365 days a year, 24/7. As you can see from going through the 4 divisions, Resource Recovery and Waste Management, Surveyor, Water Resources, and Transportation, we have extremely innovative staff looking for creative programs that can be done in a cost-effective manner. And I think in Santa Barbara County we have a tremendous Public Works Department and a tremendous team here getting this job done every day for the residents that live here. We also have the Administration Division in Public Works that helps all 4 divisions get that work done every day, and the residents of this county are very lucky to have this team of employees here in Public Works who are out there every day and take some ownership in the work that they do. And I'm proud to be the director of that department.
And it's really a good point that you made about administration. They're there to make sure that everybody else is able to do their job.
Internally, all the functions are working so we can get the job done every day.
We definitely do not want to forget them. Well, thank you so much. I know that I've learned so much about what our Public Works Department does for us. And I go down the street and I think of it now. I think the street is better because of that department. The creeks look great because of that department. So thank you for all the work that you and your staff do.
Thank you for highlighting Public Works.
And thanks for spending the time today to talk with us. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions about any of the projects or divisions, you want more information on the Public Works Department, go to the county's website at countyofsb.org and click on the Public Works Department link. If you have any questions or comments about the show, give us a call at County Television. It's 568-3420. Thanks for watching CSB TV Channel 20, your channel for county news and information.